So, as my channel grows, I am definitely going to show you embarrassing photos, and this is one of them. I think I was only 12 in this photograph, and I was with this was like my first boyfriend before my first boyfriend, so to speak. I was 12 here, and he was 18. Enough said. But I was really thin. I was a thin girl. I was thin up until the time I didn't start filling out until I was probably about 17, but I was a very thin girl. I wasn't anorexic, but I was thin, and it didn't matter how much I ate. I just could never put on weight. And the first 6 years of my life, I wouldn't eat anything. My mum would have to force me to eat. She would put me in a high chair as a baby, and she would have to make me laugh so that I would open my mouth. And then when I opened my mouth, that's when she'd try and stuff food in there. I literally had no interest in food in the first 6 years of my life, which is so strange now because now I just can't stop eating. So I think I'm making up for lost time. People say, she doesn't produce her own content. Well, if this is not my own content, I don't know what is. So yeah, the first 6 years of my life, I didn't really eat. And when I did start to eat, all I cared about was eating McDonald's. That's all I wanted. If I was hungry, I would just want McDonald's. And it's very ironic because my uncle owns several McDonald's chain restaurants, and he's very successful. And I remember he took me to one of his restaurants once when I was a kid. This was before he was a big shot, when he was just an average employee. And I got to eat free hamburgers, free fries, free everything. And they took me behind the scenes and showed me, how they made stuff. Now I don't even eat at McDonald's anymore. But yeah, I was a skinny girl before I'm not skinny anymore, but I was a skinny girl before I started to fill out. And I hated it. When I started to fill out and get some curves, I was so happy because in Jamaican culture, as opposed to kind of Caucasian American culture, it's not seen as so attractive or sexy to be thin. I remember when my mum had a Jane Fonda tape, and she used to play it and she used to exercise to it and everything. But in our culture, it's seen more attractive for a woman to have curves, to have meat on her body, than to be very thin. So when I started to develop curves, I was very, very happy. And now I just enjoy food, but I have a food addiction. And even though I love salads are one of my favorite foods, and I probably have a salad practically every day. There are some very naughty addictions that I have. And this is a photo of me when I used to wear very short skirts. I don't wear them that short anymore. But I used to have right now I have a mega food craving. Like if I buy a packet of crisps, like I like What's-Its, and I think the alternative to What's-Its in America is something called Cheetos, which is a cheesy crisp. We call them crisps over here. So I'm addicted to crisps, and one of the ones that I like the most is What's-Its. I buy a big pack and I will just eat one after the other. I think I had about 8 packets of crisps the other day, and I feel really bad for saying that, but it's like I've got an addiction. I just can't stop eating them. If they're in front of me, I just can't stop eating them. And that is just like total opposite to how I was. I remember when I was in my late teens, my mum was really frustrated with me because I wasn't at all interested in cooking. All I wanted to eat was McDonald's or Chinese takeaway. And now I'm a better cook than my mum. That's what I think. I'm a more varied cook. I'm a better cook. I'm not bragging or anything like that. I've been sharing what I cook with you on my community post. And one day there are going to be cooking videos on this channel. Or I might make a separate channel for cooking food. But I'm trying to get my body back into shape because I eat a lot. And although I don't think I'll ever be fat, I don't think it's possible. I have let myself go a little bit. And the truth of the matter is that if you eat and eat and eat like I do, and I do have some self-control, but if you have a food addiction, and you let that get out of hand sometimes, I've got to get back into shape, and I really do need to start exercising, but I've never been able to stick to an exercise regime. But I mean, if you saw me when I was 12 years old compared to how I am now, I still pretty much look the same. Like, you can still tell with my features, I'm pretty much look the same, but I've definitely not as skinny as I used to be. And I don't think I'll ever be I will never be a skinny girl ever again. So I cook a lot and I bake as well. I'm more of a cook than a baker, but on a typical day, I will have a salad, some lamb chops. I made these gorgeous lamb chops the other day. They were so delicious. A steak. I've cut down on steak because of rising food prices. I love curries. I'm a huge fan of curries. I don't want to eat them every single day or even 3 times a week, but when I'm in the mood, I really enjoy a good curry. I eat fried chicken. I love cakes. I love flans and creme caramels. I love all types of food, and I just cook a varied amount of things. I cook unusual things. I cook things like octopus, which a lot of people won't even touch. I love duck. Roast duck is like my favorite food in the whole world. I love rice. I love pasta. As I already told you, I love my salads, and I probably eat a salad every single day. I just love them. So I am a foodie, and I love barbecued food as well. I love putting things on a grill. I am a foodie. I am completely obsessed with food. And Miss Mensa keeps saying, she should go and get herself a cooking channel. And, one day this channel is going to become like Netflix. There's going to be a variety of content. When you go to Netflix, there's a variety of content, isn't there? There's comedy, there's cooking, there's crime shows, like the narco crime shows. There's reality shows, there's singing shows. I want this to be a place where you can come and get a variety of different content. And yes, true crime will be a part of that, of course. And I actually want to do some cases later this year. But this is not just a true crime channel. This channel is about variety. And I'm going to show you my figures, my analytical figures soon, which I'm very happy with. So yeah, this is just something that I wanted to do as a departure from what I usually do. And every now and again, I will be making a departure from what I normally do. I like to change things up a bit. I like to produce different content. And this was something that was very revealing about me.